Hello, my name is John Norton, Mr. Norton. I teach geometry at Riverside. And what I'd like to do today is get you onto GeoGebra, get the app for it. It is a geometry helpful app. Many people in industries use GeoGebra in order to draw the figures and engineering diagrams and what have you. It's a very useful and free app. So we'll go over how to download this app. We'll then bring the app up and show you the tools and some basic functions that you can use with it. One of the reasons that we want to download the app is because with GeoGebra Online, you can use it online. When you're in a classroom or in a room that other people are using the Wi-Fi, it gets very skittish and it will get really slow, and you just end up with problems. When it's an app on your computer, it's much faster, much cleaner, and easier to use. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do right now is on your internet search, you're going to go ahead and put GeoGebra, GeoGebra.org. So GeoGebra.org. And just go ahead and hit enter, and it'll take you to this page right here. We're going to come over here where it says more great apps, and down there it's going to say app download. Once we click that, you'll see that it says GeoGebra Classic 6. This is what we're going to download. So you just click on this button, and of course usually down here in the corner, the bottom left corner of your screen, you'll see that it is being downloaded. Once it is downloaded, you will then end up with this. Okay, so when you open this up, you will have a screen that you can move around. So it gives you a coordinate plane that you can move around if you need to. Up on top here are the different tools that are available in GeoGebra. Over here is the point tool, which allows you to grab hold of things and move them around. That's one of the tools that you'll be using most. Underneath it is the pen and freehand, so you can actually write things. So you can actually write. Then we'll go through the different tools on top here. Your point tool, you can just create points anywhere you'd like. And then going back to your pointer tool, you can move them around if necessary. So it's a great way to make sure that you understand that the notation for points, because here I have C, this one right here, and it gives you coordinates for it. So if I want it to be right on the point, I can move it, and now I have its coordinates right here, 3, 9. With all these tools, you can make them disappear just by hitting these little circles on the left. So we have different points: point on object, attach a point, intersection, which will be used a lot, midpoint will be used a lot. In geometry, we won't be using too many of these. This is a more complex math. Next over is our line tool. These are the different lines we could create. A normal line, which goes on forever in both directions. And as you see over on the left-hand side, it actually gives us the equation of that line in standard form. AX plus BY equals C. So that is actually in standard form, and which can be very useful. So we can create as many lines as we want, and each line will, of course, give us the equation over here. Again, come back over here to the cursor, pointer tool, and you can then move things around. You can put points on objects. and they will move on that one line and nowhere else. Again, we could turn them off if we got too many lines. Again, here it's labeled, and we can turn them back on again. That doesn't get rid of them. We also have segments. So all I do is click and release. It creates my segment. I want to attach another segment to it. I click down and then release, and it stops. Click and drag, release, and that's how I make my line segments. I go back to my cursor, and I can move these lines around. And again, with the segments, it tells us the one endpoint, which will be right there. JK. K is the other endpoint. That's that line segment right there. It has a name I, which is listed right here. There's its name is I. The point J, the point K. So a lot of information of your drawings will be over here on the left-hand side. If you don't see that, one of the things you can do is come over here to where the three bars are on the top right corner of your screen. You click that, and it brings down a menu that you see a lot of times with File, New, Open, Save, and so on. If you wanted to get a new one, you can just hit New. And if you wanted to save it, you could save it, and then you would put a title for it, and it would save it on your computer. And this is what the students will be using when they make your drawings. That way they could just link it to an email or upload it on Google Drive and send us their drawing. So if you don't see this over here, you can come over here to those three bars up here and come up to View and then Algebra. It turns it on and off. The View Algebra turns this part on and off. So if you just want a big screen and you don't care about the coordinates and the properties of what you're drawing, you could turn it off and have a bigger workspace, or you could put it on, and that way you would have all your information. All right, so again, you have your line segment, raise, and again, we won't be using too many of these in this class, vectors and what have you, or for a higher level class. We have perpendicular lines. So with a perpendicular line, you're going to need one line. Using my tool, I just grab hold of the perpendicular line, click this line, and see how it moves anywhere on that line. I just click wherever I want it. I could always move it again. It is not permanently there. However, I can make one that is permanent. If I put a point on the line, and then I hit perpendicular line, and I hit that point and that line, it is always attached to that point. Now the point itself can move, but that line will not move from that point. See? I can't move that line without moving that point. So that point controls that perpendicular line, where this one, it's the actual line. Let's grab hold of it here. There you go. I can grab hold of it. There we go. And move it around anywhere I want. So those are the difference between your perpendicular. But you have parallel lines. You hit the parallel button. I want it parallel to this line. There it goes. So I could put those anywhere I want it. Perpendicular bisector, I would need a segment, of course. I can't cut a line in half, so I have to get a segment. Perpendicular bisector, I just hit the line segment, and it automatically goes to the midpoint, and it is perpendicular. And I could put a point on that object. I could use the intersecting point. And I can actually use a measuring tool, which I'll get to a little bit, but I'll show you how it works. And there it shows that it is 90 degrees. So I know it's a perpendicular angle, and I can measure from these 2 points and know that they're the same to find out that that is a midpoint. And to demonstrate that, I go to my line segment tool. here I can look at L right there, 2.98, M, 2.98. Since they're equal, I know that's a midpoint. Because that's 90, I know it's perpendicular. So therefore, this is a perpendicular bisector. Moving on, here I have my polygon tools. So you have just a regular polygon, which you can create any side figure. Or you could do regular polygons. You just draw a side and it asks you how many sides it wants. You type that in, hit enter, and there you have a hexagon, six-sided figure, which is what I put in there. And you can name that by going to settings. I right-clicked, go to settings. Here's the name right here. So now I just renamed it hexagon. So you can actually rename many things. I can rename points, lines, as you see in here. So you got rigid for when you want to show transformations. We can use rigid polygons. We'll get to that much later. Circles. For a general circle, you just click and click again. There you have a circle. And again, down in the left, it actually will have, let's see, where's my circle? There it is. So when you want to find something, you can just click on it and it will highlight over here. So I would do that. I could bring this down. Oh, there it is highlighted. Okay, and it's in its own category. Pentagons, points, lines, circles, conics, angles. So it gives you a lot of different things. As I was showing you before, you can take angle measures. So this is your measuring tool, an angle. I can create an angle given a given size. I can look for distance, length, area. I could find slope of lines. And I have not used these at all. I have used all of these. So for an angle, we could check our hexagon to make sure that it is a proper, there's our outside or exterior. And that's exterior again. Do 40. Let's see if I can get this one inside. There we go. 120. So our interior, our exteriors. So it has a lot of different functions. Over here, we could see our different properties. And again, we can come over here and find those in settings. So if we clicked on something in settings, here's my hexagon again. I can change its color, style. This is thickness of lines. This is how it's opaque. So I could make the lines disappear or get darker. So this is GeoGebra. Again, I come over to the top right corner to click, and over here I can then hit File, Save, and it will ask you for your account. Again, you could use your Google account. And that would put in your Google account, and it would save. It would give you this. you would end up putting it in one of your documents, and it would save as a Google file. And that way you could send it to your teacher or to your students or whoever. So that is GeoGebra in a nutshell. I hope you if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.